G'day, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your host, Mark, and thank you once again for checking out another video. We do truly thank you guys out there. Myself and Owen are having a fantastic time. Fantastic time talking Pittsburgh Steelers football. I think we're sitting on now 1,400 subs or 1,410 or something like that. Really love doing this stuff, man. Really love talking about the Steelers and trying to focus on key areas, before the game. And we have a game coming up. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cincinnati in, I think, 2 days' time. So today, I want to put my attention all on George Pickens. And the same player that I want to put all my attention on is the same player that the Cincinnati Bengals should be putting all their attention on, right? I think this could be very well, in some cases, you would say out there, the receiver or the running back is ready to have a breakout game. Now, we haven't seen George Pickens play an actual football game or have a real regular start for the Steelers. However, this still might be a breakout game because it's going to be his first game. And in my opinion, I think the Steelers will go to him early and often, right? And I'll tell you the stat line later on in the video. But I wanted to bring up a few things about George Pickens and also about what the coach said, that being Zac Taylor, what he said about the Steelers. So Zac Taylor was interviewed, I think it was yesterday, and he says this: I think every game in the division has that feel to it, said the Bengals coach, Zac Taylor. There's no added importance because they're all important. Your easiest path to the playoffs is to be dominant in your division. I agree 100%. The Steelers also need to be dominant in their division, right? So it starts with week one with a divisional team at home. We have to take advantage of those opportunities. And to the same notion, the Pittsburgh Steelers also have to take their chance at those opportunities, right? Going into, as Mike Tom would say, Bengal territory is a hostile environment, right? And what better place to have a breakout game than George Pickens going into Cincinnati and laying the absolute smackdown. Now, when George Pickens was brought up the other day in a Zac Taylor press conference, he said this, and this is why I'm making the video. Taylor said on rookie receiver George Pickens, he was a tremendous player in college that we thought highly of. I know he had a real good preseason, so we have to be ready for him. Isn't that interesting that Zac Taylor, the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, is talking out loud and already telling the media that he has to be ready for George Pickens? So I think already that in psychological terms, that's winning mentality number one. He's already in the mind's eye of Zac Taylor. Zac Taylor's sitting at home. He just had his wonderful dinner. He went upstairs, jumped on his computer, sits down, and he's like, how do I cover George Pickens? And that is going to be the big question come this Sunday at 1 p.m. in Paycor Stadium, formerly known as Paul Brown Stadium, right? Got the name correct, which is also the Steelers' second home ground, being 15-6 in the last 22 years. But back to George Pickens. So Zac Taylor brought that notion up and said, well, we have to be mindful of him in this offense, pretty much is what he's saying. And I like that. I like already that George Pickens has made an impact and he has not even touched, Tony toe tapped his 2 feet onto the Bengals stadium, right? We have Claypool. Hopefully Claypool can start to play some good football along with Trubisky. Have Freiermuth as well. I think is going to be an excellent receiver. We have Deontay Johnson coming back from an injury. I hope he can play and be our number one. We also have Oshesky as well in there too. Steven Sims might play, right? Those kind of fellas in there. And you also have George Pickens, the rookie. So what potential, breakout will George Pickens have, might you ask? In my opinion, I think a breakout is anything with 4-5 receptions and anything above 60, 70 yards and possibly a TD. So the fact that Taylor is already giving him, credit for George Pickens just playing in preseason and acknowledging that they have to be ready for him is already a plus, right? And yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers might have a shonky O-line. Yes, it's not the best O-line you could ever think of. And yes, maybe possibly the Steelers might not be able to run the ball. However, if you can feed the football early and often to Pickens, the man's physical, The man's passionate. The man's lanky as. He's tall. He's got those ability like AB, the Tony toe taps. He's got the presence to do back shoulder passes. He's ready to run his routes. He's ready to run through people. And I think having that knowledge or that insight that Zac Taylor is already eyeing off, we got to watch out for George Pickens. I think that is a huge plus for this game and almost a slight advantage because Pickens the other day in the interview, he was asked, what do you think about the game coming up and what do you think about the season and things of that nature? And Pickens responded, well, I'm just out there to have fun, right? And we know what we've seen in preseason. We know what we've seen in college. Look, I didn't watch him too much, but I did see what I liked. He's intense. He's fierce. He's physical, right? And Zac Taylor sees that as well. So you're telling me that the cornerbacks won't be nervous or how do I take on this mountain of a man that is George Pickens and physical and doesn't mind to get dirty? Man, this guy is going to be my breakout player or my player to watch. I can't wait to watch Pickens in this offense, and I can't wait to see him go toe-to-toe with a Bengal, physical, one-on-one with the corners, and beat him at the line, get the jump ball, come down with it, and put some dance moves on and just go to the end zone. So, man, I'm fired up. Sorry, I'm telling you, if we have a chance in this game, it is going to be running the football. It is going to be using that O-line, using the O-line, hopefully holding Trubisky upright and Trubisky feeding the football early and often, like I saw today with Stephon Diggs going crazy. Not saying that George Pickens is a Stephon Diggs. I'm just saying if Trubisky can land his football in the hands of George Pickens, the Bengals will have another thing to worry about. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your host, Mark. And you guys, man, enjoy the absolute beast of a game that will be the Steelers versus Bengals. You know, every single media outlet is saying we're going to lose, but we haven't even played yet. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Have a good time. And as always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.